Hey, I'm Pascal from Orangepixel and I just completed work on Residual. I've been working on it for a little bit over a year, my new game. It's been documented on this channel, so make sure to check playlist, and there's a making of Residual. It has all the parts from prototype all the way to last week, and there might be one more video coming next week, but I'm done with the game, which allows me to have some free time and work on a couple of other projects and other things. So, let me just first change this setup a little bit. Watch the intro. Be right back. I started this YouTube channel in 2018 with the idea of showing gamers and other developers all the attention to detail, all the work and all the love that goes into creating a commercial game. I started Orangepixel back in 2004 because I wanted to create games for my crappy Sony feature phone, which was very crappy, and the games on it were even more crappy. I wanted my own games on that device. So I started Orangepixel. I started loving games when my dad in the 80s brought home a little Spectrum 48K, like literally 48K kilobytes. I think that was about it. Anyway, it was smaller than this keyboard. It had rubbery keys. You hook it up to a TV and you could play games. And the first game I played was a Breakout clone with a square little dot as a ball, of course a square bed, some bricks at the top, and you shoot out the bricks and you move to the next level. It wasn't really good, it was crappy, it had not a lot of gameplay besides just break that wall over and over and over, which is exactly what I did. I kept playing it over and over and over. So the 80s, a Spectrum, and I was in love with games. So thanks Dad for introducing me to computers, and the Spectrum 48K got replaced with a 128K, a couple of Ataris, a C64, an Amiga or two, a lot of home computers before I ended up with a PC. But there was always one device I could not get. So in the 90s I visited my first arcade. Don't tell my parents. I wasted a couple of coins there, just a few. Anyway, seeing those arcade machines and devices and seeing the games on those arcades, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted an arcade cabinet of my own, running my game. And over the many years back in those days, I tried a lot of stuff to make an arcade cabinet like that happen. Getting a big, huge TV, hooking it up to my Atari 2600, I guess, with a joystick, and then a cabinet, and that was my arcade, and then probably put some stickers on it and some paper to make it look awesome. But it was never really awesome. It was kind of crappy. So I always wanted an arcade. I always tried one. I had various emulators like MAME and then running it on a PC, but it was never an arcade cabinet. I created a lot of games that could fit an arcade machine pretty well. All the Gunslugs games, Heroes of Loot, a bunch more, Snake Core just recently, they would fit on an arcade cabinet pretty well. Getting to the point of this story, I need some space, I need some room, hang on. So this is the iArcade, and I've shown it here and there on the channel before. It runs Android games, but more importantly, it runs my Android games. So for me, this is now functioning as a developer kit. I can hook it up to the laptop and then test my games on it and make sure everything works and all these buttons do something and the game plays at its best. It took me some time to hook it all up and get it all up and running as a developer kit. I just didn't have time for that as well because of Residual. But now that Residual is done, I actually have some free time to tinker with stuff like this. And I already been pushing out all these games. So the first two, Gunslugs, Heroes of Loot 2, Meganoid, Neoteria, they're all up and running on this kit right now. And I'm gonna turn this into the best Orangepixel arcade cabinet ever existed. Which isn't that hard because it's the only one that exists. But these games are also available to everybody with an iArcade. So, pretty cool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Orders received. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Orders received. You got it.
Alright, so this is what I've been spending most of my week on now that Residual is done. I have time to tinker with stuff like this. And the iArcade is still business for me because this is just one of those markets that I can still release my games on, my Android games. And I often mention this on this channel when I talk about such things. Google Play is great to release your game on, and you should. But if it runs Android, there's a lot of different devices and markets out there that can also run your games. And for me, this is just an extra market. The games are premium there because it's a premium market. So you can actually sell your games for the same price as I can sell them on PC, which is much more closer to the value of these games. And this is just one of those markets. There are a bunch of others I can't talk about because NDAs and all that stuff. But it's pretty cool to now have an arcade cabinet full of my games. Make sure all these games run well and perfect, because there were a lot of games that they ran but then not perfect. So I want to make sure these games are at the top, and everybody that gets an iArcade and buys these games will have the most fun out of it, just like I'm having while testing it, which took a lot of time this week testing, as you can imagine. So I'll do some more testing. So this is a little bit of my break time between projects, and in the last couple of years I went from project to project. Every time I ended a project there was already something that I was working on, and just hopped from one to the other. And I think I've been doing that since 2018 or so. So this was just a little tinkering, taking a little break. I'll have another break next week, and before I start my new game project. And it's gonna be interesting because I'll try to also do the whole prototype stage and the whole designing stage with you guys. So normally I already have something up and running, and I'll just start with a first devlog showing something on screen. Right now there is some graphics being made here and there. I have some ideas, and we're just gonna cover all those ideas and how do we get to those ideas and how do we turn those ideas into a prototype and that into a game. So it's going to be very exciting to do those type videos pretty soon. But for now, just a little break, and that's why I did this video. A bit different from normal, but I needed a little break, as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago. So that was this was the break. Still working on games, but in a different way, I guess. So next week's video, I plan to actually record that the day it goes live. Normally I record these videos on last Friday, as you're watching it on Thursday. But next week's video I'll actually record it in the morning. Hope to edit it all and have it up and ready to go at the usual time. Because there's a little announcement coming. So next week's video is going to be interesting. Let's just wrap up this video reading some comments in the comment chair, which is not really the comment chair. It's just the chair that I sit when I read the comments, which I guess is the comment chair, probably. Alright, so comment chair from now on. Let's see, last week's video was about the tiny features and that other guy stepping into the show to... never mind. Let's see what you guys had to comment. Oh yes, it's time to rewrite the whole game engine. To be honest, I didn't check which date that video would have gone live. If I had checked, I would have known it was April Fool's Day and I would have done something with it, but I completely forgot, and rewriting the whole game engine would have been an interesting April Fool's joke, but It's a really big game, look nice, keep up, I hope you finish it on time. Thank you, I hope so. It's finished now, just need some time to prepare console versions. Will there ever be an intro with a Matrix style fight between Pascal 1 and Pascal 2? Interesting one. Never thought about it. Gonna think about it right now for maybe some future update. Could be cool to do. I did a Matrix intro sometime in 2019 about the red pill and the blue pill. It's a video in 2019. Not sure when exactly, but I did one. I like when games have have interesting achievements. Not just one that you get automatically as you progress, which still has lots of potential for secret or hard to find areas, blah 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 blah. Yeah, right now I actually have just the pretty common achievements, but I am gonna look into what you said. I can still squeeze in a couple of achievements, and I can probably come up with a few interesting, and I'll just keep them hidden or secret until you do it, and then good idea, gonna work on that. It would be cool if the species image cycled between the entities of the species you found. I had that in the game at first, for some reason I removed it, but I'm not really sure why I removed it, and it now just shows one static image. But something to look into. Great plan for a break. The Last of Us 2 was amazing. I have a Trello list of all the titles I want to play once. That's a good idea, although my list would just be The Last of Us 2, maybe God of War, the last one, although I'm not sure that's my type of game, but I still haven't found that time or the space or the peace in my head to just sit down, relax and play a game. I've just been busy all week with tiny things and the iArcade, and I should really make some time and dive into it. What kind of algorithms are you using to generate your world? And as somebody mentioned, big algorithms. Yeah, there's not a single algorithm for this, or maybe you want to call it the residual algorithm. There's just a bunch of code that goes into creating the whole universe, and then galaxies, solar system, planets, and then creatures on those planets. It's a lot of code, and you could call it an algorithm, I guess, but I wouldn't. So you got that guy back, but he didn't help. Now he's just my business guy, and he comes in to talk business stuff, but April Fool's Day video. Yeah, I know, Terry, I know. Sorry, I should have done an April Fool's Day video next year. We should still be next year. We're gonna talk about it next year. Little thing I noticed at 6, you showed the string arrays. I think you can leave the new string out if you have the content in behind. Yeah, you're probably right, but I wrote it the way I did, so probably just because I'm used to it like that. And Pascal 1 can beat the shit out of Pascal 2. You bet he can, I can. Who is 1 and who is 2? We have to make that clear before that happens. Either way, I think it's gonna hurt me. Is the going to be on Play Store, and it is going to be free? No, whatever the question is, no. That's it for the comments. And that's also it for this week's video, because I've got this game and I need to play it. So I'm gonna finish up editing this video, upload it, thumbnail, and I should have some time this weekend to finally dive into this. And then I'll be all fresh and ready to go on the next project in about a week. So excited. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. Make sure to watch next week's video. Got an announcement to make. It's gonna be awesome. At least for me. Probably for you, but mostly for me. See you next week. Bye. All and pretty much